Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the fandom lately, the heated Rivalry Season 2 casting drama. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say this. Personally, I think this whole situation is a perfect example of how fandoms can both celebrate and complicate adaptations. Here's the deal, Charlie Gillespie is set to play Troy, the hockey player, and Justice Smith is taking on Harris, the social media manager. Sounds straightforward, right? Wrong. Fans are up in arms, especially about Harris's casting, and Reid, the author of the source material, is not having it. What makes this really interesting is the specific criticism being lobbed at Harris's casting. Fans are upset because Justice Smith doesn't physically match the book's description of Harris as chubbier. And here's where I have to pause and ask, why does this matter so much? In my opinion, this isn't just about physical accuracy, it's about representation and what fans feel they're owed. Harris, as a character, is layered and relatable, and fans want to see that reflected on screen. But does an actor's body type automatically determine their ability to portray that depth? I don't think so. One thing that immediately stands out is Reid's response to the backlash. She called out the critics by referencing last season's casting debates, essentially saying, "You were wrong then, and you're wrong now." From my perspective, this is Reid standing up for the creative choices of the showrunners while also defending her characters. It's a bold move, and it raises a deeper question: how much say should authors have in adaptations? Reid's involvement as a consulting producer suggests she's on board with these decisions, which, in my opinion, adds a layer of legitimacy to the casting. Now, let's talk about Justice Smith and Charlie Gillespie. The showrunners said these two immediately connected with the vulnerability and resilience at the core of these characters. What this really suggests is that the casting team prioritized emotional authenticity over physical resemblance. And honestly, that's a choice I can get behind. If you take a step back and think about it, the heart of heated rivalry isn't just about how the characters look, it's about their relationships, their struggles, and their growth. A detail I find fascinating is how this debate ties into broader conversations about casting in adaptations. Fans often have a specific vision in their heads, shaped by the books, and when that vision isn't met, it can feel like a betrayal. But here's the thing, adaptations aren't meant to be carbon copies. They're interpretations, and sometimes, those interpretations challenge our expectations in ways that can be uncomfortable but ultimately rewarding. What many people don't realize is that casting is as much about chemistry as it is about looks. The showrunners mentioned that Justice and Charlie created something truly special together, and that's huge. If the actors can capture the essence of Harris and Troy's relationship, does it really matter if they don't look exactly like the book descriptions? Personally, I think the answer is no. This whole situation also makes me wonder about the pressure on actors in these roles. Imagine being cast in a beloved adaptation only to be met with immediate criticism. It's got to be tough. And yet, actors like Justice Smith and Charlie Gillespie are stepping into these roles with what seems like a lot of passion and commitment. That, to me, is worth celebrating. So, where does this leave us? In my opinion, the heated rivalry casting debate is less about right or wrong and more about the tension between fan expectations and creative freedom. Adaptations will always spark these conversations, but what matters most is whether the final product honors the spirit of the source material. And based on what we've heard so far, I'm willing to give this cast a chance. What do you think? Are fans justified in their criticism, or is this a case of overscrutiny? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if nothing else, this drama has definitely got me hyped for Season 2. Spring 2027 can't come soon enough.